Hey guys. I'm sorry. I've really been MIA on YouTube. There's just been a lot going on. So sorry, but I'm back. Hey guys, it's your girl Brandy, aka Brandy4. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. I do lots of commentary videos on pop culture, on Love Island, Kardashians, celebrity stuff, whatever I like to talk about. So if you like any of those things, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button and also click the like button because that's how YouTube algorithm works. Like, the more you like my video, the more people will see it, and then the more people will come on my page, and then that's it. So please be a doll face and like and subscribe. Yesterday I actually watched Selena Gomez's new documentary called Selena Gomez, My Mind and Me, and I actually wanted to talk about her documentary in particular because I've been hearing like a lot of buzz around Selena Gomez these past couple of days, especially over the whole Francia Rice's, I can't remember her last name, but the girl who's on Grownish and on Secret Life of Teenager. There's apparently like some beef between Selena and Francia. So I'm not really going to get into it right now, probably later in my video. But that basically led me to going on Selena Gomez's documentary and just looking at what she has to say. If you are a part of Gen Z or like the late millennial ends, you basically grew up with Selena Gomez, you grew up with Miley Cyrus, you grew up with the Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, etc. If you watch Disney Channel like I watched it, I was obsessed with Disney Channel as a child. Not even gonna hold you. Like, Disney was life. You couldn't tell me anything. Like, I knew all the drama, all the bits and pieces of all these celebrities. Miley Cyrus was actually my favorite Disney Channel star out of everyone, to be honest, because I wanted to be a Miley Cyrus. Like, I wanted to be a pop star. I wanted to be Hannah Montana. So I was very into the drama. So when I saw that Selena Gomez's documentary was on Apple TV, I was like, hey, might as well watch it. But yeah, like, mainly because my childhood memories consisted of the Disney stars. It consisted of Selena Gomez on Wizards of Waverly Place. It consisted of the Miley versus Selena drama when Selena was dating Nick Jonas back in like 2008 while Miley just broke up with Nick Jonas. It consisted of Selena and Demi falling out because Demi was jealous that Selena was hanging out with Taylor Swift. Taylor. Like, all that drama, I was very much into it. Before I even get into the documentary itself, I do want to like give you guys like a timeline of what I know about Selena Gomez so far, from what I've learned from the tabloids, growing up watching or reading J14 Mag, watching E! News. We knew of Selena Gomez first from Barney, actually, before Wizards, but then she came on the scene on Disney Channel around 2007 and instantly became like the next Disney princess after Miley Cyrus. It wasn't until Miley and Nick broke up, and that was when all the Selena and Miley beef came about, because of course it involved boy drama. It involved Selena taking Miley's man. So that was like the main drama as a kid. So you had to choose sides. Did you like Hannah Montana or did you like Wizards of Waverly Place? Did you like Miley's music or did you like Selena's? It was a lot of sides taken, but basically Selena is used to always being in the mix of some sort of controversy, some sort of drama. Selena Gomez's career really skyrocketed, and I really do think it's because of that drama that came about from it. Because people were choosing sides. People didn't really like Miley Cyrus as she was acting out at that time, and Selena was more like put together. She was more of the Disney image compared to Miley, who was like, I do not care. Like, at that point, Miley did not care. Versus Selena, on the other hand, like, she was just like, okay, well, I'm still gonna behave myself. And because she was behaving herself, she was getting mad endorsements, getting a lot of contracts. Her concerts were selling out. She had a lot of fans. So sis was very, very successful. And then when we shift to 2010, where we reached the end of her Disney Channel career, even though I think Wizards ended in like 2012, but this is like coming to an end where people aren't, well, people my age aren't really watching Disney Channel as much. This is where like the next generation starts to watch Disney Channel. That's when she starts dating Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is 2 years younger than her, so this was like a whole controversy within itself. And basically, they seemed like such a loving young couple. They showed so much PDA, and they were the two top like teen idols at the time. So of course everyone was obsessed with them. All the little girls, all little white girls were obsessed with Justin and Selena at that time. And then basically their relationship was just very toxic. And so they broke up. Because of how toxic that relationship was and how toxic it ended, Selena eventually got into a deep depression. She ended up checking into rehab around 2014 for one, her diagnosis with lupus, along with being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Correct me if I'm wrong on that timeline, but that's just what I'm remembering. But it also doesn't help the fact that she was dealing with such a toxic relationship / breakup with Justin Bieber, where the man was cheating on her multiple times. I don't really know much about what he was doing, but based on what she had said or like wrote under his comments that one time on Instagram, yeah, we know that he was basically a womanizer and basically like chilling with multiple women while dealing with her. And yeah, that basically affected her physical and mental health in the long run as well. She even mentioned in the documentary like she was dealing with psychosis, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think psychosis is when like you're completely different than your normal self. Like you're saying things that you would never say, or you think something is there when it's not. Like you're just completely out of it. So the fact that I heard she was acting like that, like, oh my gosh, that was very shocking to hear. While all of that was happening between like 2012 to like 2015, Selena Gomez, she released her album Revival, which I actually think is her best album. Revival is actually her best album, to be honest. It's a good album. And it's funny because like Justin Bieber's album Purpose came out the same time, and that album was also really good. So yeah, music was really doing what it needed to do in 2015. Like seriously, they did what they need to do with them breakup albums. Journals, are you kidding me? Yeah, they did what they needed to do. But however, she was still dealing with her lupus diagnosis, and she ended up needing a kidney donor. So her friend in 2017, Francia, eventually gave up her kidney, and she was basically saying how Selena Gomez called her one day and was like, "We're a match." And then sis is just like, oh, okay. It appears to me that she felt pressured in that sense, because she was kind of like, dang, like what else am I supposed to do? Like I'm a match and my friend is in need. So she ended up getting the procedure and donating her kidney to Selena, which is huge. She donated a whole organ to Selena Gomez. Like, that's insane. You have to be blood for me. I'm sorry. You have to be my sister, my brother, my husband. Like, otherwise, I don't know. However, there was still a lot of controversy around that after she had gotten her kidney, because around 2018, she was still heavily abusing alcohol and drugs, but it was also mainly to cope with her toxic relationship with Justin Bieber. And it did not help that once they finally broke up for good, Justin marries Hailey Baldwin immediately after. Like immediately, like no time. It like made no sense. So of course, Selena goes down a downward spiral and is like, okay, well, I'm completely and utterly destroyed, because like, where the hell did that come from? Wasted all my years on this man just for him to marry someone else in like a few months after we broke up. I would be upset too. My mental would be a mess too. I don't know. Like, I've never dealt with anything like that, so I can't even imagine. In early 2018, Selena checked into a rehab facility again due to the mental issues dealing with the relationship with Justin Bieber and the aftermath of him and Hailey Baldwin getting married. But then eventually in 2020, she released her album Rare, and she released that song, I Need You to Lose You to Love Me, or something like that. And but you go, look at me now. Basically saying like, look, I got over that relationship, or slash I'm getting over that relationship. I've moved on. I'm a different person and I'm changing my life and blah, 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 blah. I don't know what I'm saying. And even in the documentary, she describes Rare as like her best work yet. And I mean, probably because she was probably in a way better headspace when she made that album. So yeah, basically that's the timeline of events that I know about Selena Gomez from the tabloids, from news articles, e-news, since I've been following, when I tell you I've been following Disney stars for a minute, I kind of, however, stopped following them once I hit like college. Like for sure by college, which was, I was a freshman in 2015, so by then I was kind of like not as tuned in because I was dealing with my own toxic relationships. So I have no time to deal with celebrity toxic relationships. But yeah, basically that's the timeline of events that I know of. That being said, I want to jump right into the Selena Gomez documentary. You're probably wondering why this is my title. No hate at all, because I don't think this was a bad documentary. I don't think, like, let me make that clear. I don't think that this was a bad documentary. I don't have any issue with Selena Gomez, blah, blah, blah. So don't be coming in my comments. We are having a discussion. We're having a discussion. So if you don't agree with what I have to say, please kindly let me know why you don't agree. But however, I'm going to let you know what I feel the documentary was missing, what I feel they didn't do right. And yeah, so let's get into it. So the first thing that I think she did not touch on in this documentary, I wish she would have touched more on aspects of her life that had directly affected her mental health, rather than just showing us the aftermath. It kind of felt a little too personal when we were like watching her break down towards the beginning of the documentary. I don't know if you guys remember, but like in the beginning, you basically see her just crying to her team, crying to her friends, saying like she doesn't feel like she's good enough and whatnot. And it kind of felt like I shouldn't be watching this. I felt a little cringe watching it, mainly because I just don't know what's going on. I feel like I needed more context in that sense. Yes, she did touch on like her lupus diagnosis, her bipolar disorder, whatnot, but I feel like she really did not touch on the fame aspect of it as much as she should have. She did not touch on like her childhood of being a Disney star for all those years. She did not touch on like her relationship. And yeah, it was kind of just like out of place. It was just how she is at that moment, which, don't get me wrong, is fine to show like how everything has affected you in that current moment. However, I would have liked more context, because it just kind of seemed like she was just whining to everyone and asking for reassurance constantly, but it kind of felt out of place. And it made her look even more insecure, but it didn't give me a reason as to why she was feeling that insecurity. And then yes, this actually leads to my next point as to what I feel she is missing from this documentary. For one, I feel like she did not talk about her fame from Disney at all. Wizards of Waverly Place was a huge part of her career. That's how I gotten to know her. Well, of course, like I recognized her from Barney, but like I really had gotten to know her after Wizards of Waverly Place. And honestly, you can argue that this was like the biggest point in her career, being on that show. I would have loved to hear how it affected her mental health, since I'm sure you guys have heard like many childhood stars that we've grown up with have come out to say how toxic and abusive, mentally abusive specifically, these networks were to them while they were on these shows. For instance, when Jeanette McCurdy came out, you see Amanda Bynes going through what she's going through right now. You see a lot of Disney stars and Nickelodeon stars coming out and expressing like how much these shows have affected their mental health currently. So it would have been nice to hear more on that, especially even though, like, yes, she did touch on it a tiny bit, but not enough. And you know dang well, that she definitely had majority of her problems from her Disney age, because that's where most of these celebrities, they get these problems, they get these mental health issues from, starting as a child, working very long hours, working adult hours, working 12-hour days. She had her own show, music career. She was touring. She was filming movies. She was doing press tours. She was doing all of that since the age of 15. I feel like she definitely should have touched on it, especially since this documentary touches on like mental health. And quite frankly, let's not act like this did not contribute to her mental health issues, because it 1000% did. So yeah, I feel like that was lacking a lot, and I was actually kind of disappointed that she didn't touch on that, because majority of the people who know her from Wizards of Waverly Place. Like, I have not followed her like that since like the show had ended. So it would have been nice to have that nostalgia feel and have that be a part of this documentary. So another thing I feel like is missing from this documentary is like her touching on her acting career in general. She more so focuses on her music career, which is fine, because right now you see that she is like mainly known for her music career. However, she is filming her new show, or is on a new show, Only Murders in the Building. That show with not Steve Harvey. I said Steve Harvey. That show with Steve Martin on Hulu. So it would have been nice, like, seeing the aftermath of her overcoming, or on the journey of overcoming her mental health, with her like behind the scenes of that show. It would have been nice to see that part of her life, because she isn't only doing music. She is also very much known for how good of an actress she is. Quite frankly, I think she is a way better actress than she is a singer. So it would have been very nice to see like her behind the scenes of her like doing her filming for different shows and whatnot. Another thing that I feel like she definitely missed the mark on was talking about her kidney donor. As you guys know, we've seen a lot of drama with Francia and Selena over the years. Basically, their relationship is just non-existent. It seems like it's non-existent, since Francia had donated her kidney to Selena. And if you guys don't know, Selena, she wrote out a statement saying like her only friend in the industry is Taylor Swift. And Francia, she took offense to that and made a comment under that E! News post and was like, interesting. She later deleted it, but then Selena was like, what was I supposed to do? Mention every friend that I have? So yeah, that basically showed that they are not on great terms. That is very unfortunate, especially since Francia gave this girl her kidney. So that really sucks. But besides that point, it would have been nice for her to at least acknowledge the fact that she got this kidney from Francia, and Francia had basically saved her life. It would have been a nice moment. She could have threw a name out there, at least. Nothing. She kind of just mentions it like passing. She's just like, yeah, and I got kidney transplant, and the majority of this documentary focuses on her lupus diagnosis and her going through this and dealing with it. So it would have made more sense, or it would have fit more if she mentioned the kidney transplant and needing it in the first place. Why wouldn't you put that piece of information in here for us to see? And even if they aren't on good terms, it would have been even more real if she talked about that as well. She could have made a whole sob story out of it. She could have been like, unfortunately, our relationship hasn't been good. She could have been crying while saying it as well. She could have been like, hopefully we can rekindle I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. But she could have turned it into a whole sob story. I feel like she missed the mark of not mentioning it. And quite frankly, it made her look like an asshole for not mentioning it, because sis gave her whole organ to you. Like, what are you doing? That was not cool. It wasn't cool. And it was 1000% missing in this documentary. Another thing that was missing heavily in this documentary, I'm sure you guys know or figured as well, she did not touch on her relationship with Justin like that at all. Like, she touched on the paparazzi aspect of it, but really, no. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say to revolve your entire life around your ex. Like, obviously, he has moved on, he's married, obviously, you have moved on. But let's not act like she didn't get the majority of her fame along with him. Let's not act like they both didn't get the majority of their fame from that relationship. And also, let's not act like this relationship wasn't like the main reason for her mental health depleting. Let's not act like that. It's 1000% the reason. It's a huge reason as to why her mental health went downhill. So it would have been very nice for her to touch on that. It would have made the documentary a lot more relatable. And I'm not saying like she had to bash Justin every chance she got. I'm not saying she had to be negative. I'm not saying she had to be bitter in the documentary when describing that relationship. However, let's not act like it didn't happen. We all know what happened. You might as well talk about it. We know that it affected you greatly. Why not talk about that? We all know. Literally, she checked into a rehab facility after they got engaged, after they got married. Like, why wouldn't you bring up how much that relation, like, yes, she brought it up, but definitely not as much as she could have. And it would have been a lot more relatable, because people tend to think that toxic relationships or relationships don't affect your mental health that much. It's just like something you go through, but it clearly does affect your mental health. And so basically, if she had talked about that, it would have been so much more relatable. I would have been like, wow, you see, like, it actually shows that a toxic relationship can affect me, can affect your body in that way. Therefore, this is what I did to take the steps on bettering myself. I feel like she totally missed the mark on that. She mentioned it just a little bit, but not really. It was kind of like, yes, the paparazzi was following me while I was dealing with this, and but it was just like a lot of missing pieces. If I didn't follow her career over the past several years and whatnot, I would not have understood why she was dealing with this. Besides, yes, obviously fame, but also I can't relate to the fame aspect, which leads me to my next point. This is not what's so much missing, but more so what I just did not connect with at all. And it was basically her attempt at normalcy. I understand in order for her and other celebrities to stay humble and stay grounded is to, visit where they came from, visit their hometown. However, it did not seem as genuine, mainly because she's just way too famous. Like, she is way too famous. So for instance, when she visited like her old elementary school at first, and she was talking into the speaker and said her name. I don't have my ID, but my name is Selena Gomez, and the security guard did not know who she was. She was like actually genuinely shocked. She was just like, what? And then when she walked in, she was just like, it didn't come across as humble or grounded. It was just like, yeah, you're coming back to where you came from, but you're still like, hey, I'm a celebrity. Y'all should know me, and I should get all the benefits from being known. Or even when she visited her old neighborhood and she went to see like her old neighborhood friend or something, and you could clearly tell that this girl was like lower middle class. She has like 4 kids. Like, she had mad kids running around. It was kind of just out of place. There wasn't really, I didn't understand the reason for it being in the documentary. It was just like, hi, just checking in on you, just checking to make sure your life is the same while I'm rich and famous. It seemed so out of place to me. Like, I understand what she was trying to do, but it just did not come across as well as she had hoped. Then also, even when she went to Kenya for the We charity that she was working on, I think it had to do with like helping school kids in Kenya. The conversations were very nice. Like, don't get me wrong, like this was like one of the nicer parts of the documentary, like seeing her have those like heart to hearts with the kids. However, it kind of just seemed like she was doing this to make herself feel better, and that, oh, like my life is just so great. Sometimes it's nice to, talk to underprivileged kids and to see what they're going through. So I'm reminded of how lucky I am and how privileged I am. That's what it gave me, to be honest. Not saying that that is how she is, however, it came across to me that way. And I think she is genuinely like into her work, into her philanthropy work. However, in the documentary, it came across to me as like, I don't know, it just didn't seem as genuine as I had wanted it to seem. So yeah, the normalcy part of it, it was just odd and I could not relate to that at all. So yes, that was a lot. I had quite a lot of takes on this documentary, but all in all, I basically wanted more information, more of a backstory, more interviews from her family and friends. We didn't get enough of that at all. I saw her mom. I was like, bro, I haven't seen her mom since like 2008 on TV somewhere. So when I saw her, I was shocked. I was like, dang, like she really looked good. But yeah, it would have been nice to see her mom more. Like we did not see her mom enough at all. And yeah, I just wish she touched on a lot more things and gave a lot more context as to what like led her to her bipolar diagnosis, what led her to not well, nothing could lead you to there, but like what led you to like your mental health depleting in general. Yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinion on whatever I just said. Please, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm not hating on Selena Gomez, so don't be in my comments, please. I want this to be a conversation, a civil conversation, so please don't hate my comments. Like my video and subscribe for more Brandy 4. Let me know what else you'd like me to talk about. And yeah, like my video and subscribe to your girl, Brandy.